कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभं नासाग्रे वर्मौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कङ्कणम् सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपास्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपालचूडामणि वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. Reading from Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, Astamaskand, 8th canto. We have completed 15 chapters out of 24 chapters in this canto, and today we shall take up chapter number 16 and 17. It is started with the different manvantars. Yeah, you can go back to the previous slide. It is started with the first chapter, which is about different manvantars. Every time we repeat what is the manvantar, just to reinforce the Vedic scale of cosmology. You know, we are used to some, amongst us living up to the age of 100, 120 maximum in this age. So for us, 100 years is a long life of a human being. But within our existence also, we have been witness to some insects which appear in the evening and they die off in the morning. They live only for 12 hours. So their life duration is so short. So within this 8.4 million species also we see some animals live for 10 years, some for 20 years, and there are these insects which live only for half a day. We have learned that tortoise lives for 500 years. The banyan tree lives for a very long number of years. So we have this time frame in mind. But when we are talking about the life of Brahmaji, how long is that? So we should remember that one day in Brahmaji itself is 432 crores years. 432 crores years is the life of Brahmaji in a day. And Brahmaji lives for 100 years. So 432 crores multiplied by 360 multiplied by 100 is the total lifespan of Brahmaji when everything is completely destroyed, including the sun, including the moon, including all the graha and the objects in the universe. But at the end of the day of Brahmaji, there is only partial dissolution. So many other objects remain there, but there is a Anshik Pralay. So how long is one Manvantar? We have learned 30 crores 67 lakhs 20,000 years, because one Manvantar is equal to 71 Chaturyugi, and one Chaturyugi is equal to 4,32,000 into 10. So 43 lakhs years is one Chaturyugi multiplied by 71, that is 30 crores 67 lakhs 20,000 years is one Manvantar. We also learned that in Manvantar, the Saptarishi will change, the Devatas will change, the Indra will change, the Manu will change, and the Manu Putra will change. So right now we are in the 7th Manvantar, that is called Vaivaswat Manvantar. Then we read the story of Gaj and Gajendra and Graha, in which the Lord took the form of Hari Avatar. He appeared on his conveyance Garur and he killed the crocodile. So that story went on for a couple of sessions, and then we learned about another very uh, you know, enchanting story about the Samudra Manthan, the churning of the ocean. In that, we found out the Lord appeared in different avatar. He became the tortoise, and this was not a simple tortoise. We are talking about how many lakhs of yojan. One yojan is 8 miles. So such a long, huge tortoise was the manifestation of the Lord in the Samudra Manthan avatar to support the Mandrachal Parvat, which was being used as a mathani, and it was being pulled by the rope, which was the Nag Vasuki. One side Devatas, another side Danavs, and they were churning the ocean. And from the ocean, two more avatars took place, and that is the avatar of Dhanvantri, Lord Dhanvantri, who is the father of medicine, father of Ayurveda, and Lakshmi ji also appeared from the Samudra Manthan. And at the end of the Samudra Manthan, when there was a fight to snatch the Amrit, Lord took another form, which is Mohini. So we should not be surprised that God can take different forms. Once you classify God as omnipotent, he has all the powers. There is no power that he doesn't have. So if he is having all power, why is it not possible for him to take a form? Child's logic, right? Lord can create this entire universe. He creates millions of other universes like this. In fact, infinite number of universes. He provides so many colors in the Brahman, in the universe. He manifests so many different plants and different animals and different flowers and different butterflies. Why is it not possible for God himself to take a form? So this is a very sound logic, but still people don't believe in God. They say no, it is just a figment of imagination. So to those people we ask the question, then you explain who is behind this amazing creation. How does the grain get manifested from the ground? How does flowers happen? How do the plants happen? How do the bodies get constructed in the mother's womb? So science has no answer. They keep speculating. But when we provide authoritative texts like Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana, the questions are raised. But that is the nature of the world, and especially in Kali Yuga, where the mind gets so deluded because of the power of Maya, and the adharm is at the peak. So we are learning about different avatars. So we spoke about Narsingh Avatar, we spoke about Hari Avatar, we spoke about Mohini Avatar, Dhanvantri Avatar. All these are the forms of the Lord. And then in the next slide, after chapter 9, we learned about the fierce battle that took place between Dev and Asur. And Mohini Avatar we already described. In the chapter 13, we learned about the next 7 Manvantars. What will happen? Daksh Savarni, Brahma Savarni, Dev Savarni. These are the different names of Manu who will appear in the next few Manvantars. So in this day of Brahmaji, right now, 7th Manvantar, Vaivaswat Manvantar. And then in the 14th chapter, we learned about the roles played by the Manu. What are the responsibilities they have to discharge, they have to execute. And in the chapter 15, we came across the personality of King Bali, who was won over by another form of Lord called Vaman Avatar. Now, today we shall read about how the wife of Kashyap ji, Aditi, she is very unhappy about the state of affairs for the Devatas. They have been vanquished by the Asur. So she is thinking of doing some austerities and pray to her husband Kashyap ji to bring out a son who will avenge this defeat. So that will be the story of Payovrat Katha. And in the 17th chapter today, we shall read about the Vaman Avatar, the dwarf form of the Lord. So before we start the text reading, we shall sing the bhajan. But before that, I just wanted to add, imagine if God did not have a form. Like in some religions, the form is not worshipped. You talk to some people in another religion, what is the form of your God? He says, God doesn't have a form. God is Nirakar. And they are very much, devoted to this knowledge. Even in within Hinduism, there are people who don't believe in the Sakar form. They say God is Nirakar. What you see as Sakar is the Maya form of God. So they give different, their own philosophies. But the fact is, God is both form and formless. Is it not very clearly stated in the first chapter, first canto of Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran? Vadanti tattva vidas tattvam ajnanam advyayam brahmeti paramatmeti brahm Bhagwan iti shabdate. This is the fundamental knowledge. God has three forms. He is present in every particle of this universe in the form of Brahma, which is dormant, which does not, show any consciousness in the sense that it is doing leelas, etc. No interactions. Non-interactive God is present in every particle. That is called Brahma. In the form of Paramatma, he resides in the heart of every living being and in the human being, noting down the karma that we do. So that is the Vishnu form of God seated in our heart, in the ethereal heart. And the third form of God is the Bhagwan form, in which God appears in different forms. Isn't Bhagavad Gita clearly telling that in 10, 20, 15, 15, 18, 61? In so many places. So we shouldn't get caught in this conundrum. In chapter 12 also, Sri Krishna has very clearly explained, Maya Veshyamano ye mam nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya paryopetaste te me yukta matattamamataha. Chapter 12, shloka number 2. Krishna says, out of the two options, you worship the form and you worship the formless. Worshipping the form is the most preferred, most recommended, because you are yourself having a form. So how will you worship something without form? So he goes on to explain that in shloka number 6 in the same chapter. Klesho dikataraste sham abhyaktahi sakta chetasam abhyaktahi gatir dukkham dehavadir navapyate. It is very difficult for an embodied person to worship without a form. So what does God do? He appears in different forms. He fills up the scriptures with so many stories, and we read those stories and we relish. We sing the songs about God, we relish. So we get so much of material to meditate on God and to go back to Him, because that is the reason why the human birth has been given to us. Not only to build a house, not only to buy a fleet of cars, not only to buy set of ornaments, not only to eat all kinds of delicacies. We can do all that, but along with that, we have to add God in our life, so that the end result is all blissful, all peaceful. With that, let us sing the bhajan, and then we can read the text. So the bhajan is a bhog bhajan, where we offer delicacies to Sri Krishna. Abna और तरसाओ रसिया, आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया. O Shri Krishna, please do not torment me with your separation any longer. Satisfy the longing in my heart. Please come and accept the humble food offering. You suffer neither from hunger nor thirst, yet you roam all over Vrindavan stealing buttermilk because you are hungry for love. Rejecting the 56 varieties of delicacies offered by the arrogant Duryodhan, you ate the banana peels offered with love in the house of Vidurani. When Shabri offered fruits that she had first tasted, you found the fruits much sweeter than even the royal delicacies offered to you in Janakpuri. Though you may not accept my food offering, seeing that it is devoid of love, allow me to be very frank with you, my lord. Says Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, since you accepted even the poison milk offered by Putana, you must accept my food. अब ना और तरसाओ रसिया, आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया। अब ना और तरसाओ रसिया, आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया। आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया। यद्यपि यद्यपि यह सच है नहीं तुम कहो, यद्यपि यह सच है नहीं तुम कहो, भूख प्यास लागती रसिया, भूख प्यास लागती रसिया। तदपि भाव बस ब्रज छछिया लगी, तदपि भाव बस ब्रज छछिया लगी। चोरी करत फियो रसिया, चोरी करत फिरियो रसिया। अब ना और तरसाओ रसिया, आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया। भाव बिना भावहीन दुर्योधन व्यंजन, भावहीन दुर्योधन व्यंजन। नहीं टुक मन भायो रसिया, नहीं टुक मन भायो रसिया। नहीं टुक मन भायो रसिया। भाव भरा केले का छिलका विदुरानी घर खायो रसिया। भाव भरा केले का छिलका विदुरानी घर खायो रसिया। अब ना और तरसाओ रसिया, आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया। जो रस शबरी के जूठे मुख, जो रस शबरी के जूठे मुख। बेर खायो पायो रसिया, बेर खायो पायो रसिया। बेर खाए पायो रसिया। जनकपुरी के राज भोग मह, सोरस नहीं पायो रसिया। जनकपुरी के राज भोग मह, सोरस नहीं पायो रसिया। अब ना और तरसाओ रसिया, आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया। हो मानत हो भावहीन हो मानत हो भावहीन हो। पै सुन करे खरी रसिया, पै सुन करे खरी रसिया। पै सुन खरी खरी रसिया। कत कृपालु कह, कत कृपालु पे पियो पूत नहीं आते। अब आ जाओ रसिया, कत कृपालु पे पियो पूत नहीं, याते अब आ जाओ रसिया। रसिया ओ रसिया मेरे मन बसिया, रसिया ओ रसिया मेरे मन बसिया, रसिया ओ रसिया मेरे मन बसिया, रसिया ओ रसिया मेरे मन बसिया। आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया, कत कृपालु पे पियो पूत नहीं, याते अब आ जाओ रसिया। अब ना और तरसाओ रसिया, आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया। आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया, आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया। बोलिए श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय, श्रीमद युगल सरकार की जय। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे। Our koti koti pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Our koti koti pranam to Swami Mukundananji. My humble pranam to each one of you. And now we shall read from the chapter 16 called Payovrat Vow, which is in Canto 8. Few more chapters are left before we move into Canto 9, which is having 24 chapters, and that is about the two dynasties, the Suryavans and the Chandravans. In Suryavans, Lord Ram has taken birth. In Chandravans, Lord Krishna has taken birth. And all the lineages have been described very well, starting from Brahmaji, then his Manas Putras, the rishis, Atri's son, Chandra's son, Chandra's son, Buddha marries Ila, and they have a child called Pururva. Pururva marries Urvashi, and that's how the lineage continues to Yadu, Puru, Yayati, etc. And finally, Ugrasen and Devak and Vasudev, and Sri Krishna is born to Vasudev and Devaki. In the Surya Vansh, it is Lord Vivaswan who is the key personality at the top of the lineage, and in his Vansh we have so many personalities like King Ambarish, King Harishchandra, King Sagar, King Bhagirath, and finally Ikshwaku, and Ikshwaku's lineage we have King Ram, born to Dashrath. The other personalities are Dilip, Raghu, Aj, etc. So we will learn about Chandravansh and Suryavansh predominantly in the next canto. Let us here complete the stories of different Manvantars. So today, let us see what happens in the 16th chapter and what is this Payovrat vow. Seeing her dear sons abandoning their abode and opulences, the Devata's mother, Aditi, was extremely disturbed, dejected and depressed. Just then, Rishi Kashyap visited her after his meditation. He noticed that the ashram looked deserted and without any charm. He questioned Aditi in the following way for her sad look. You know, Kashyap Rishi is the is the son of Marichi Rishi, who is the Manas Putra of Brahmaji. So Kashyap Rishi is the father of many human beings. Even my Gotra is Kashyap. So why? Because he is the one who propagated the population the most. He's married to Aditi, he's married to Diti, he's married to so many other wives. So you you may recall how we covered the personality of Kashyap. So from Aditi, the Devatas were born, and from Diti, the Danvas were born, Hiranyaksh, Hiranyakashipu. So we have learned those stories. So today, Aditi is waiting for her husband to return after meditation. So in the picture, you see Kashyap ji and Aditi. So she had the sad look, and what did she say? I hope no Brahmins have been harmed or no adharma has been done to the people. When her husband Kashyap ji saw the sad demeanor of his wife, he is questioning. I hope no Brahmins have been harmed or no adharma, unrighteousness has been done to the people. I hope there is no disturbance for any grihastha matter in pursuing the three purusharth, dharma, artha, kam, or in her duties. Or is it that some stranger has returned back from our house without you even offering water to them, or has been shown some disrespect? So he's such an exalted person. He's asking these three questions to his wife. Why are you looking so sad? Is it that you committed some unrighteousness act? Did you harm some Brahmins? Did you have some disturbance of any household matter? Because the householders are pursuing dharma, artha, kam. They want to do good deeds, dharmic deeds. They want to earn money, and they want to enjoy the material world. So that is called dharma, arth, kam. And the fourth one is moksha, which is the other pursuit which some people pursue. And the third reason is he asking, is it that some stranger came back from our house without even getting some water? And he continues to ask questions, or is it that some yajna was not conducted properly or at an improper time or with improper oblations? Oblations, because you were distracted with me not being there present for such yajna. For such sacrifices represent the mouth of Lord Vishnu, who satisfies all that one desires with properly conducted yajnas. You who always have a cheerful demeanor, could it be that your sons are not keeping well, that you are having such a sad look on your face? Oh lady, why do you look so forlorn? This is the question of King Kashyap, the sage Kashyap. Let us see the next slide. Aditi replied to Rishi Kashyap saying, O sage, all is well with the Brahmins and the cows and me, your humble servant, are all well. With you as my Swami and being this ashram's master, all the Purusharth and Dharma is followed and flourishing. Every single visitor has been duly honored and fed by me who has come to your holy house, my Swami. In fact, with your teachings, all my duties and desires are fulfilled. You are a father to all those who are born by your body or mind. You treat them all equally, whether he is a Devata or Asur, just like the Supreme Lord who treats all equally but is especially favorable to his devotees. So, O sage, you too please protect us, your devotees, and save our dignity, honor which has been snatched by our enemy, including our opulences and abode too. The mighty ones have put us in exile, due to which I am deluged by misery, thinking about my sons. Therefore, please advise and devise a way by which our Devta sons will be able to retrieve and regain their fortune and opulences back, O noble soul. Pondering over her dilemma, Kashyap Rishi lovingly replies to Aditi. So wonderful is the Lord's Maya, which ties all beings with affection to one another. Ignorance forms the root of one's attachment to one's material relations. So far we are reading the questions and the answers by Kashyap ji to his wife Aditi. And so Aditi's cause for sadness is that the the honor and dignity of the Devatas have been snatched by the enemy, and the opulences and abode also have been taken. So we are in exile, due to which I am deluged by misery. This is the statement by Aditi. We also learned Aditi explaining that uh, all those who are born by your body or mind, you treat them all equally, whether he is a devta, just like the Supreme Lord who treats all equally, but is especially favorable to his devotees. So she is quoting Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, shloka number 29, I think, which says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyo asti na priyah ye to bhajanti mam mayite teshu chapmeham. So in that shlok, Lord says, I am equally disposition to everyone. I am neither inimical nor friendly to someone. I am neutral to all. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyo asti na priyah. Neither I am inimical nor I am friendly to anyone. I am neutral. But he adds a caveat. He puts, but those who have dedicated their thoughts, mind, and intellect to me, I am favorable to them. So this is very natural. Even in our life, if somebody is, treating us so well, giving us so much respect, we become extra favorable to that person because he has developed that intimacy. So here, this relationship is between God and his devotee. So naturally, the God is very pleased with somebody surrendering one's mind and intellect. So he becomes very much pleased and gracious and graceful to such a person. So that is what is quoted by Mother Aditi. Let us see the next slide. So I will read one more slide and then others who wish to read can raise their hands. So slide number 3. O Devi, worship Lord Vasudev who resides in the Worship Lord Vasudev, who resides in the heart of all created beings and who will surely fulfill your desire. Devotion to the Supreme Lord alone gets result is my firm belief. Then Mother Aditi asks Rishi Kashyap to tell the procedure of praying to the Supreme Lord by which she and her sons will be relieved of their suffering. Rishi Kashyap now tells about the Payovrat vow which he had learned from Lord Brahma when he himself had desired to have progenies. This vow is to be observed for 12 days in the Falgun month, starting from Amavasya, subsisting only on milk. The first day one should smear the soil dug by a boar if available and then stand in a river and pray. O goddess, the way you were lifted out by the Supreme Lord Vara from the causal waters, please lift me out too, wiping out my sins. After having completed the Nitya daily rituals, one should worship the image of the Supreme Lord along with the form in the place of worship, the sun, water, fire, Acharya, and invoke him in that image and pray, Hail to you, O Lord Vasudev, the greatest of the great and the inner controller of all. Salutations to the unmanifest Lord who is both Pradhan, primordial matter, and Purush, soul. Hail to you, O Lord, presiding over all sacrifices. Salutations to you as the blissful Lord Shiv and also as Rudra the destroyer. Salutations to you as Hiranyagarbha Brahma. So very beautiful prayers by the person who will perform the vow is conveyed by Kashyap ji to his wife Aditi. Let us go to the next slide, which Sheila ji will read.
Hail, hail to you, the first deity standing as a witness. Hail to you as sage Narayan and Nar. Hail to you as Sri Hari, who has won over goddess Shri. Hail to you as Lord Keshav, the ruler of even Brahma and Shiv. Hail to the granter of all boons of his devotees, who worship his lotus feet. May that Lord be gracious to me, to whom all the other celestial gods and Devi Shri serve, as if seeking his grace. May he be gracious to me too, after his presence has been invoked in the image by chanting mantras and sacred text, Saying his prayer, one should offer water to the Lord for washing the feet, rinsing the mouth, and also provide other articles for worship. Bathing the Lord in milk, one must decorate the Lord with sandal paste, flowers, incense, garments, ornaments, etc. One should then wait upon the Lord by chanting the 12-syllable mantra. One should offer the deity rice boiled in milk and jaggery, accompanied with mantras, offering this prasad to other devotees, and then he himself should take the remnants. Offering of water, betel leaves, etc. to the Lord. One must gratify the Lord chanting the mantra 108 times and do pradakshina and dandavat to the Lord, and then placing the flowers already offered to the Lord on his own head as a mark of respect. One should respectfully ask the deity to rest. Shall I carry on, Bhaiya?
Yeah, you can carry two more slides and then
Okay,
Aradhya can read the rest.
thank you. Yeah. One should then offer dakshina and gifts to the Brahmins and observe this payovrit for till the end of 12 days. Subsist on milk alone for all days of the vow, avoiding unnecessary talks for all the 12 days, and also abstain from luxuries, whether great or small. On the 13th day, he should wait over the Lord with offerings of milk, curd, ghee, honey, and sugar as per the procedure given in the scriptures. He should then perform a grand worship of the Lord with a concentrated mind. A gratification of one's acharya is equivalent to Sri Hari's gratification. Gift the acharya as well as other sages with gifts of cows and feed them with delicious and pure food. After giving the suitable dakshina to the sages, he should then offer food to all who have assembled. He should then take food along with his friends and relatives. Glorifying the Lord with bhajan kirtan, he should also listen and narrate the Lord's sweet stories every day. This, O Aditi, is the Payovrat, which was revealed to be me by my grandfather, Lord Brahma. You too, after controlling your mind, observe this vow, adore Lord Keshav, the ruler of even Brahma, and Shiv with pure devotion. This vow, also known as Sarvavrat, universal vow, highly gratifying the Supreme Lord in this manner, he will then speedily grant all objects that you desire, O Aditi. Radhe Radhe.
Yeah, please carry on.
Shall I carry on? With her desire to ending her children's troubles, Aditi kept the Payovrat vow for 12 days as instructed by Rishi Kashyap, fully controlling her senses, focusing and meditating upon the Supreme Lord Vasudev. She worshipped him devotedly and observed the vrat. Pleased with her devotion, performed exactly as per the instructions of Rishi Kashyap, the Supreme Lord, in his Chaturbhuj form, clad in yellow, appeared in front of Aditi. Aditi was highly gratified and fell prostrate in front of the Lord. Awestruck, words failed her. Eyes streaming with joyous tears, she stood gazing at the form of the Lord. Finally, composing herself, drinking the divine sight with her eyes, she glorified the Lord in a soft voice. You, O Lord, you always manifest to relieve the sufferings of the entities. Your devotion alone helps one to break the bondage of transmigration. Your name alone is sufficient to protect your devotees and keep them away from distress. O Bhagwan, hail to you, who takes so many forms and incarnations for the welfare of the souls. When you are pleased with your devotees, they are blessed with all opulences even without asking. Such devotees are never even troubled by enemies under your care. Radhe Radhe. Does someone else want to read?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
The Supreme Lord, as the inner controller, knew about Aditi's desire. The Lord then spoke, "O Dev Mata, I realize your wish that the heavenly kingdom and abode be restored to your sons, which has been snatched by their enemies. You also wish that the Devatas should defeat the Asuras in a war. You also desire to see Indra slaying his enemies, and also see the wives of Asuras crying over their dead bodies. You also would that all the splendor and opulences be restored back to Indra. But, O Devi, the current period of the Asuras is very favorable, as their gurus, Brahmanas, are immensely pleased with them, and a war now is not desirable or favorable to the Devatas. I am pleased and happy with your devotion and maintaining your Bayovrat. O Aditi, I shall be born through Kashyapa to you and protect your sons. You have to devote and keep worshipping sage Kashyap in your mind and see myself in him. O Devi, keep in mind that this is not to be disclosed to anyone and kept as a secret. Saying this, the Lord disappeared with Aditi still looking on. Rishi Kashyap, with his yogic austerities and with spiritual powers, realized that God's words or intentions are mentally impregnated. Aditi. Lord Brahma, realizing the Lord in the womb of Aditi, glorified him. Hail to you, O Brahma! Salutations to you, salutations to you, who was previously born to Prasni, now Aditi. Revealed by the Vedas, you as the Supreme Being, these three worlds are based in your navel, without you dwelling in them. You also dwell within the jivas as inner controller. You are the beginning, middle, and end of creation. The way a strong current of water absorbs everything in itself, you, O Lord, as time spirit absorbs the whole universe. You are the creator of all creations, including the Devatas. You alone then can rescue the Devatas, just like a boat rescues a person from drowning. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you. So let me quickly read the chapter 18 because now, you know, we have only 15 minutes. So, chapter 18, Lord Vaman manifests. Thus, with Lord Brahma extolling the Supreme Lord, Sukdev Ji Maharaj continues. On the Shukla waxing moon, Dwadashi, 12th day of Bhadrapad month, with moon in the Shravan constellation in the Abhijit Muhurt, the Lord was born to Mata Aditi and Rishi Kashyap. All the constellations and stars rejoiced and seemed to herald the arrival of the Lord, which is also known as Vijay Dwadashi. The sun was exactly overhead. Conch, dhol, mridang, etc. could be distinctly heard in melodious tunes. The Apsaras too rejoiced and danced. The sages, Devatas, Manus, Pitras, ancestors, Agnidev uttered hymns and texts praising the Lord. Other celestial beings showered continuous stream of flowers over the ashram. Aditi was overwhelmed with happiness and joy. Rishi Kashyap too, seeing the Lord manifesting with his divine Yog Maya, was thrilled and exclaimed, Jai Ho, Jai Ho. The darkness surrounding the ashram altogether vanished with the Lord's effulgence. The Lord was seen in his Chaturbhuj, clad in pitambar yellow, huge lotus like eyes, brown hue form, his crocodile shaped earrings reflecting in his face looked most charming. Sporting the Srivat's mark and adorned with beautiful ornaments all over, kept Aditi spellbound, and with both Aditi and Kashyap still looking on, the Lord assumed his form of a Vaman, tiny Brahmin. So let's see the next slide. This is the most celebrated avatar of Vaman Dev. You can see the amazing picture. The sages and rishis present in the ashram were very happy to see this Brahmin form of the Lord along with Rishi Kashyap. They conducted the sanskara ceremonies, for example, birthday ceremony, naming ceremony, and then the sacred investiture thread ceremony for the Lord. In the thread ceremony, Surya Dev then uttered the Gayatri mantra. Devarshi Biraspati gifted the holy thread. Rishi Kashyap gifted a straw belt, Mother Earth a deer skin, Chandradev a staff pole, Mata Aditi gave a loin cloth, and a sky god Dehu an umbrella. Lord Brahma himself gifted Kamandalu pot, Saptrishis the Kusha mat, Saraswati Devi the Rudraksh mala. After the thread ceremony was over, Lord Kuber gifted a bowl to the Lord in which Mata Parvati had the honor of pouring the very first Bhiksha alms. The Lord was shining in his splendor, and his effulgence could be seen from afar too. The Lord then conducted a ritual yajna sacrifice. Lord Vaman then learned that the magnanimous King Bali, following his Acharya's instructions, was about to commence the Ashwamedh Yajna. The Lord then immediately proceeded to meet King Bali. Though being tiny and small footed, the earth shook on the Lord's every step as he walked. The Lord reached the banks of river Narmada, known as Bhrigu Kach, where the Bhrigu descendants of Rishi Bhrigu, were conducting a sacrifice for King Bali. Let's see the next slide. Sighting the Lord's effulgence from far approaching towards them, the rishis wondered whether the rising sun itself was walking. They assumed that Surya Dev or Agni Dev or Sanat Kumar were coming to witness their yajna. While Shukracharya and others were still pondering, Lord Vaman enters the sacrificial yajna area carrying the staff, carrying his staff, pot, umbrella, wearing his sacred thread, sporting matted locks, the Lord with his Yogmaya Shakti completed his look of a very tiny, short Brahmin boy. The sheer effulgence of the Lord itself made all the Brahmin sages, rishis, disciples present there to get up and reverently welcome the Lord. Mesmerized by the tiny Brahmin's radiance, King Bali welcomed and offered the highest seat to Lord Vaman as a mark of respect, ceremoniously washing the Lord's feet. King Bali worshipped the Lord the way Chandramauli's Lord Shankar's head sports the sacred Ganges, emanated from the Lord's feet. Similarly, King Bali sprinkled reverently and gratefully the water washed in the Lord's feet on his own head. So these descriptions are self-explanatory but very, very relishable to read. King Bali then politely and softly inquires, O holy Brahmin, my obeisances and welcome to you. Command, O holy one, how can I serve you? I see the radiance and power of all austerities of yogis all centered in your own being. My ancestors are blessed with your visit, and my yajna is now considered successful. O revered Brahmin, your lotus feet have washed away all mine and this land's sins. The very earth is now purified with your small lotus feet being washed. O Brahmachari, you seem to desire something cows, gold, opulent mansion, food granaries, and liquids. A suitable bride, rich villages, horses, elephants, chariots, just name it, O Brahmin. Ask me, O King Bali, whatever that you wish, and I shall grant it. Okay, now we have come to an end of these two chapters, the Payovrat vow and King Vaman's appearance. We shall discuss about these in the interactive session. Let us first complete the takeaway, which is the verse from Bhagavad Gita. Name vidu surganaha prabhavam na maharshayah aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah. Sri Krishna says in chapter 10, slok 2, neither celestial gods, that is devatas, nor the great sages, those are the rishis, know of my origin. I am the source from which the devatas, the gods and great seers and the sages come. So this verse we should remember all the time, because Sri Krishna is telling even the great devatas and the great rishis, they don't know my origin. So point to understand that we tiny living beings, human beings, if we are unable to understand the opulences of God, we should not be surprised, because people who are so much more elevated than us cannot also understand. No one can understand God unless God himself makes that person to know him. Janat tumhai tumhai hoi jai. You know that particular doha is there in Ramayana. Uh, that without bhakti you cannot understand God, and once you know him, you also become like him. Now let us see the next slide. Okay, the second takeaway shloka is Yo mam ajam anadim cha vetti lokamaheshwaram asammudha samartyeshu sarva papai pramuchyate. Those who know me as unborn and beginningless and as the supreme lord of the universe, they among mortals are free from illusion and released from all evils. So we all want to get rid of the illusions. We live in clarity, in with all the transparency that we need in our life. How is that possible? Only when we recognize the God. Only when we recognize the God, then we can understand the mystery. So who is God? He is unborn and beginningless. So if we recognize God, Supreme Lord, as the universe, the unborn and the beginningless in the universe, and is the supreme lord of the universe, then only we can be free from illusions and we can release ourselves from all evils. Let us see the next. Okay, so these are the two takeaways. Now we can remove the slides and engage in some conversations. So what did we learn today? We learned from Bhagwat Mahapuran, the highest Puran in the Vedic literature, in the ninth canto, in the 16th and 17th chapters, about the Payovrat vow, which Aditi wants to take so that her children can uh, win over the kingdom that they have lost and get back their honors. So that is one story we read. And the second, we learned about the incredible story about the avatar of Lord Vaman. That was a story of the avatar of the Lord. We have spoken about the Sakar form and the Nirakar form. We learned about the mysterious nature of the Lord that no one can understand. You know, the Lord, when we apply our intellect, Lord's grace is required to understand the Lord. These are the these are the facts and figures which we have endeavored to learn today. Now we open up the forum to engage in some discussions, in some feedback, and whatever else you all wish to share. Over to you, Vijay Bhaiya and Santosh Bhaiya.
Thank you so much, Suya, for sharing all the text and describing about and summarizing all the things from the past, whatever we read. These are like so much profound wisdom that we need on daily basis. I mean, I know like we don't have time, but this is something like we should try reading on daily basis and get wisdom as much as we can. So with that, I will open up for any feedback or any questions or any kind of experience you want to share. I see Veena Didi joining. Do you have anything to share, Veena Didi? maybe Shiladiti or Smitha.
As ever, a really, really profound session, Rajesh ji. What I still am trying to get my head round, it'll take me a while to understand, is the Payovrat, because it requires a lot of austerities, lots of rituals to be performed. And now that we are in the simplicity of Maharajji's teachings, whereby he says that all you need to do is surrender and keep remembering Hari Guru constantly without any Nishkam Bhav. So, with how easy that is, as opposed to what Rishi Kashyap tells his wife Aditi to do, um, but of course nobody we are not in this age and day where you could follow all the stuff that the rishi is suggesting. Maybe there are few people in the world who can still do it. So what's your stance on that, please, Bhaiya? Radhe Radhe.
Yeah. So these acts of the personalities mentioned in the Bhagwat, they are all divine personalities. Sometimes they will do whatever they are preaching, opposed to that. So that is also very much the case. The Lord may say, don't do rituals, but he will perform some rituals. So that way, we have to take that Lord is doing everything, to really enchant us with all the different stories and bhav. So here in this specific case, we can say that Aditi is not able to bear the suffering of the sons, because Bali Maharaj and his associates have won over the Devatas. So it's natural for a mother to feel very much unhappy about the situation. So how to overcome that? So she is of course resorting to some methods, that how to propitiate the Lord, so that he sends a son who will avenge the asuras. So quite right. I mean, she can take up the devotional path and just pray to the Lord, and the Lord will listen to her. But in this instance, uh, uh, a vrat is being performed, so it does confuse us. But as I said, we have to move on and figure out, maybe uh, at a later date, some resolution to our question. That's all I can say now. Yeah. So we have a couple of minutes. Anyone else?
Smitha Didi, Aparna, do you have any questions?
राधे राधे भैया। श्री भागवत कथा अपने आप में ही बहुत ही सुंदर कथाओं का संग्रह है। बचपन में मैं सोचती थी, जब भी मैं अपने नानी के गांव जाती थी, कुछ महीने ऐसे होते थे जिसपे मैं सुनती थी कि आज मंदिर पे भागवत कथा होने वाली है। शायद वो दशहरा का टाइम रहता होगा, जब 7-8 दिन लोग, सारे गांव के लोग इकट्ठा होकर शाम के टाइम में, लगभग 7-8 बजे के टाइम में मंदिर पे जाते थे। तो इन्हीं कथाओं में कभी कभी माँ के साथ मैं भी जाती थी, लेकिन मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आता था। मैं कोई और धुन में होती थी उस समय, काफी बचपन की बात है। तो मुझे लगता था कि लोग इतनी रात में क्यों जमा होते हैं और ये सब करते थे, लेकिन मुझे उसका कोई महत्व, ये सबसे मतलब ही नहीं था। तो जब भैया का ये सेशन में ज्वाइन कर मैंने किया, तो मुझे ये समझ में आया कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि आपको अलग से कुछ प्रयत्न करना है भगवान से जुड़ने के लिए या उनकी अच्छी बातों से प्रेरणा लेने के लिए। सिर्फ आप भागवत सुनते ही हो ना, तो आपका बिल्कुल क्रांतिकारी परिवर्तन होने लगता है आपकी जीवन शैली में, आपकी सोच में। भाई, एक तो ये कथा इतनी खूबसूरत, मनोरम और भगवान के सारी कृतियों से भरी पूरी है। लेकिन उस पर भी सोने पे सुहागा है भैया का इतने सरल, सुंदर और सहज ढंग से वर्णन करने में, जिसमें कि भैया बीच में भजन गाते हैं और सारा कुछ इतना अच्छा से एडेड कुछ और चीजों के साथ पेश करते हैं। तो ये सुनना और उसको अपने जीवन में उतारना, उतारना भी नहीं पड़ता, आपका जीवन बिल्कुल सरलता से भरा हुआ, संतुष्टि से भरा हुआ हो जाता है। जैसे लोग कहते हैं ना कि अब मैंने ये व्रत किया है, ये मैंने सोचा है कि अब मैं एक ऋषि मुनि की तरह, तपस्वी की तरह का जीवन व्यतीत करूंगा, तो वो करना नहीं पड़ता। अगर आप इन कथाओं के प्रवाह में बहते जाते हो एक सही सज्जन और सरल व्यक्ति के साथ, तो आप स्वयं को उसमें पाते हो, और कब आकर भगवान आपके अंदर अपना प्रभाव छोड़ने लग जाते हैं, वो पता भी नहीं चलता। पहले मुझे अपना मैं एक अनुभव बता रही हूँ। मुझे हमेशा होता था ना, एक मेरे पास टारगेट होता था कि मुझे ये करना है, लेकिन हो नहीं पा रहा है, इतने साल हो गए, मतलब इस तरह की चिंताएं मन में आती थी। लेकिन पिछले 1 सालों में परिवर्तन मैंने ये देखा कि अब मैं बहुत ही ज्यादा फ्री माइंड में रहती हूँ। मुझे कोई टारगेट नहीं है एज सच लाइफ में कि मुझे ये करना है। जो है जैसे वेरी मच सेटिस्फैक्ट्री एंड गुड, मतलब आनंदपूर्ण है। तो शायद ये भागवत की कथाएं हमारे भारतवर्ष के घर घर गांव गांव में समय समय पे कराने के पीछे ऋषि मुनियों और पुजारियों का यही ध्येय रहता होगा कि उन कथाओं के साथ हमारा जो समस्त भारतवर्ष की जनता है, जो वो उसके साथ यूं चल पड़ेगी और सहज भाव में सबके जीवन में भगवान आ बैठेंगे। बहुत बहुत सुंदर सेशन था भैया। बोलने के लिए बहुत कुछ है, लेकिन बहुत ही अच्छा लगता है आप सबों के साथ यहाँ पे शामिल होके भगवान की भक्तिपूर्ण गीतों और पूरी कहानियों का स्वाद लेने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है। जीवन एकदम प्रसन्नता से भर जाता है। थैंक यू सो मच भैया। राधे राधे।
राधे राधे, सो वंडरफुल, बहुत अच्छा आपने कहा हमेशा की तरह। तो विजय भैया, अब हम लोग समाप्त कर सकते हैं,
जी
अगर कोई और किसी का प्रश्न या कुछ फीडबैक ना हो तो।
जी।
बोलिए श्रीमद जी,
सदगुरु नहीं
बोलिए श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की जय,
जय
श्रीमद युगल
युगल
सरकार
सरकार
की
की जय।
जय। जय जय
जय
श्री
जय श्री
राधे,
राधे।
जय
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 श्री
श्री
राधे,
राधे।
जय
जय
जय श्री
जय श्री
राधे,
राधे।